And welcome to your third and last part of the video, which will go over surveys. Surveys or questionnaires are a very common data collection device and can be conducted in a variety of ways. That should say face-to-face, focus groups, mail-in, telephone, or internet questionnaires. In all cases, however, surveys comprise of a series of carefully selected questions. The two most important factors that affect the validity of a survey are the size and characteristics of the population that was surveyed and the purpose of the questionnaire used to collect the data. Before designing a questionnaire, you want to first identify the population. So know who you're surveying. This allows us to select a representative sample. Then you are going to identify the purpose of the survey. And this allows us to select the appropriate questions. When composing questions, be sure the questions are clear and specific. So for instance, this is a bad survey question. How much money do you make? The reason it is not a good survey question, it's not very specific. So for instance, how much money do you make? Is that per year, per hour? So you would have to add in something to make it more specific. The next thing is avoid leading questions. This causes what we call measurement bias. So for instance, do you agree that black-focused schools is a bad idea? You are leading the person by basically telling them to agree that it's a bad idea. So we want to take this out. And you want to take this out and just say, what is your opinion on black-focused schools? The next thing is avoid slang and acronyms. So for instance, are ribbies the most important statistic for determining batting success? Ribbies is slang for RBIs. So a lot of people would not know what a ribby is, but they do know what an RBI is. So you would take out the slang. The problem is, RBIs is also an acronym. So some people may know what an RBI is, but some people may not know what an RBI is. But if you change that to what it stands for, which is runs batted in, it increases the chances that people know what you're talking about. Next, avoid words that are negative or may raise strong emotions. So for example, should irresponsible dog owners not be allowed to exercise their dogs in public parks? So we want to take out the words that are negative. So don't use negative words and take out anything that may raise strong emotions. So if you call dog owners irresponsible, that's going to raise emotions. So take out the word irresponsible. So, should dog owners be allowed to exercise their dogs in public parks? Lastly, you're going to decide whether respondents are to remain anonymous. So there are advantages and disadvantages to having a survey anonymous. So that would be your choice when you make your survey. So we're just going to finish it up with the different types of survey questions. Open questions allow respondents to answer using their own words. So for example, how do you think most Canadians feel about the salaries paid to professional athletes? Closed questions force respondents to answer using a pre-designed list of choices. For example, which of these statements describes how salaries for pro athletes compare to average Canadian wages? Are they higher, lower, or about the same? So you have a list of choices. Information questions ask questions that are personal, and what they do is they allow you to fill a quota. So these would be questions about gender, age, income, or occupation. So they are personal information questions, and the fact that they allow you to fill a quota means it allows you to select some males, some females, people of different ages, people of different incomes, people of different occupations, things like that. The next is checklist questions. So these ask respondents to select as many options as they feel apply. So for example, which of the following sports do you enjoy watching? So they can check off as many as they want. Ranking questions ask respondents to put a list of options into an order of importance. For example, here's a list of concerns for teenagers. Please rank them in order of importance from 1 being the most important to 4 being least important. So number 1 might be, so that might be your most important. Choosing a career might be your second most important. Learning to drive might be your third most important. And number 4 might be your fourth most important. Lastly, rating questions are when respondents place their answer along a continuum. For example, how satisfied were you with the latest school dance? Were you very satisfied, satisfied, dissatisfied, or very dissatisfied? They may also use a numbering system. So, very satisfied might be number 5, then 4, 3, 2, 1, and this would be dissatisfied. So you might have to put your answer along this continuum of numbers. So that concludes our videos on data concepts, sampling, and questionnaires. Hope you had some enjoyment out of it. Sorry it was a little bit dry and boring, but make sure you do know all of these definitions. If there's anything you don't understand, please ask your teacher in class next day. Thank you and goodbye.